It is an interesting yarn, even though this is not the style of yarn that I reach for. I do need to have direction with it. So it's a jumbo number 7 15 millimeter crochet hook. Typically, I like anywhere between a 3.5 to 6.5. That's my happy zone right there. So this is like way out in, okay, I need to have some direction. I need to know where this project is going. I'm not going to try any new stitches with it. Preferably, I would like to have a tried and true pattern. Our inspiration, Bernat Fab nesting basket. There's a small, medium, and large. For the small, it says, and I do love it when the pattern's on the inside here, 4 balls of yarn for small, 5 for medium, and 6 for large. I have 5 in total, all different colors. I just grabbed one of each color to play around with. So I very easily could make the small basket, even though it says small, it's gonna be a decent sized project basket. So regardless of how I feel about the yarn, at the end of it, I'll have a project that, assuming I can work all the way through it, I can use. It's a functioning piece. I do like the green. That is my favorite one. So it's a mossy green and then there's flowers all over it. Essentially, this yarn is an entire piece of fabric that they've stuffed with polyfill. I don't know if the ends are closed or if they just tie them together. When I pulled it out just to kind of look at one of them, the polyfill was all over. Like you could very clearly see there's polyfill stuffed in there. So that part was cut and just completely open. When I work with it, I am going to put a knot on the end of it. Obviously, I don't want that polyfill coming out everywhere and then it'll get really thin on the end, slide out. Could potentially ruin whatever project I'm working up. But how are they connecting it together? That's my big question that I have about this. Very inflexible yarn as well, which you probably already guessed because it's fabric. Whatever I do with it, that's going to be very prominent. In a nesting basket like this, or a basket that I'm just going to throw other yarn into it, I'm not going to really care about it. And I might not even notice it either. So if I just like tie the ends together, that'll probably be fine. So I'm gonna play around with them. Hopefully we can find an end. I imagine we're going to. It's not like it's just one entire piece for each ball of yarn. It's 100% polyester, 7 ounces per ball of yarn, 37 yards, which is gonna go very quickly, especially with a 15 millimeter crochet hook. My other option for a pattern is to work up some crochet coasters. I'm not sure how that's gonna look with a 15 millimeter crochet hook. Like this one I did with Tunisian crochet, so maybe I'll switch over to that. 15 millimeter Tunisian crochet hook and just do a simple stitch. Then it would be bite size, so I could play around with it, but if I don't fully enjoy working with the yarn, it's just a 5 by 5 inch square. Actually, it's gonna be way bigger than that, maybe. I don't know, whatever. This is the size that I want it. So however many stitches I need in order to get that, we're gonna stick with a 5 by 5. The main thing with this yarn for me is my arm gets fatigued like very, very quickly. Since this is gonna be more home decor, home accessory, I'm not gonna wanna make a blanket from it. It's fabric, so it's not cozy, soft, squishy type of yarn. Can we throw it in the wash and dryer? Care instructions on the inside, machine wash and drying. Wash in water that doesn't go above 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't bleach, and tumble dry low on delicate setting. Okay, well, that's exciting. So if I like this, or I like the style, the setup of the yarn, if I want to make a rug, that's good to know because I don't like making pieces like that. See a lot of high traffic and then I can't throw it in the dryer. Finally found more of the patterns I was looking for. I knew there was something else that I had seen somewhere other than the nesting baskets because I only have 5. I'm not going to get any more until I play around with it. On Yarnspiration, they have a couple of different patterns. So we have a knit pattern for a blanket. I'm not going to knit a blanket with this. And then we have the 3 crochet nesting baskets, but that's kind of looking like my only option because the other things that they have available on here are crafts and sewing. So for the craft, you can learn how to weave a pillow cover, which is cool, but there's not any of these colors that I'm super excited about to have as home decor, like a pillow cover. Maybe if it was something like a placemat, that's really what I wanted to make. Okay, but that's not something that they have here. They do have a table mat. It does look very fun, very nostalgic, and it goes with the color and everything on here. but I want to crochet with it. The very last one is the Fab Sewn Catch-All Bowls. Was not enjoyable at all. Like, it was very difficult to work with, and this could 100% be a me thing. I do not lean towards these type of jumbo style yarn for that fact. Like, I know my body, I know myself. I'm gonna get fatigued. I'm not gonna want to work it up, and so I need to do bite-sized projects if I do these. Okay, and I made it to one of the spots. So it is sewn together right here, and it looks like this part, well, here, let me pull it back a little bit so it's easier to see. This part is a little bit smaller, so the stuffing, the little polyester that's in there, it looks like they didn't fill it quite as much over here, made it a little bit thinner, and then stuck it inside this next one. And it goes all the way down to right there. You can see there's a little bump. It's really big and then super, super thin here. And then it gets back to the normal part of the yarn. I really don't know what I want to do. Like, this seems secure. And the fact that I'm making coasters, I'm not making a wearable or something that is going to have a lot of wear and tear. I mean, yes, I'm going to use these coasters a lot, but they're going to be sitting on the table and my coffee cup is going to be on them. So I don't really, like, it's not going to be moving around much. For this one, I'm just going to keep going and see if it bothers me, if I can notice it. I don't think I'm going to. It's just odd. I guess this big bump right here, kind of don't love that. For the first one, I just did not have a good time crocheting. I knew that was already out. Tunisian crochet, I think it's going to be okay. Well, there's only a couple of loops here that I need to do, so let me just work those up real quick. Yeah, because already I can feel that. Don't love that feeling. In fairness, this is a 15mm Tunisian crochet hook, and I'm supposed to go up a little bit when it comes to Tunisian crochet, but I don't have anything in between 15 and 25mm, and 25 is just way too big. I'm not gonna mess around with that. But now I have to either pull it a little bit tighter or I have to go a little bit looser because that bump is just, it's in the way. It's gonna make a weird knot. I don't even know. Well, I barely got through it. I'm not saying I know a better way. I just don't totally love that, how they connected everything. Okay, and then finish up this row. I guess you can't really tell too much. So here is the front, and this is the knot that I went over. Here's the back part of it. Obviously, you can see it a lot better. But I got really lucky for this project, so it's just going to lay in the back. I'm never going to see it. I think it's going to be fine. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening in this yarn, a lot of different colors, flowers going every direction. I do like how this turned out. They're going to look really fun all stacked together because that's my goal. So I'm going to do one coaster from each color. So I'll have 5 coasters in total. And so when I'm not using them, they'll be all stacked together. Surprisingly, there is not a lot of curling. You can tell on the edge, there definitely is. If I were to do this exact project with worsted weight or fingering weight yarn in superwash merino or acrylic, the curling would be like really bad. Like, it would just naturally want to do that and I wouldn't be able to flatten it down. I still might block this, see if it does anything to it. I mean, it's 100% polyester. It's probably not going to do that much. And right now, it's fine. It's going to do what I need it to do. I don't even have a coffee mug down here right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows and then a row to bind everything off. Very, very quick. I don't even think I'm gonna mess around with it with crochet anymore. I just didn't love it. I didn't have fun. My arm, like right behind my elbow, got fatigued really, really quickly. I was only into row 2. There's 3 rows of this one. And by row 2, I was already starting to feel it. So Tunisian crochet only for me. The basket pattern, I did not end up hating it as much as I thought I was going to. So I got 6 Tunisian crochet coasters in total. And I decided to make 2 in the green with the flowers all over it. Really like this color and I want to use it as decor for some springtime stuff. April, maybe March, I don't know, depending on how I'm feeling. So I wanted to make sure that I have 2. Every other color I only made 1 from. So when I switched over to the basket pattern, I followed it for the circle. And you could see, like, that takes a lot. So whatever I had for this color left, minus the Tunisian crochet coaster, that's where I had to switch off the colors. I followed it until I started to build right here, and then I didn't keep track of my rows because I knew that I had less than the amount of yarn that I needed in order to make the basket. But even still, Like, this is a pretty decent sized basket. Spaces between the stitches are obviously very big. I mean, it's a 15 mm crochet hook. Things are gonna fall through it. So if I want it to be a basket that I can throw stitch markers and crochet hooks and stuff in it, not just big projects, I will have to bust out my sewing machine and add a little fabric liner to it. But for right now, I'm just gonna use this to hold some of my yarn. I mean, you saw that's a lot of yarn in there. I could get a couple of projects or a whole cardigan, which I am making a lot of sweaters, cardigans, and blankets right now. A blanket wouldn't fit in here unless I'm doing like a sampler blanket and it's just like chunks at a time. I liked that I had different colors to play around with so I didn't get bored. I think if I would have just had the one color, I don't know that I would have had as much fun with it, but just seeing how the other colors play together, it was enjoyable to me. This is not a project that I'm gonna do often for the yarn in and of itself. It's never going to be something that I reach for just because. I'm always gonna have to have a pattern set up specifically for this yarn and know the direction that I'm going. Like, this is never gonna be something that sits in the yarn dungeon just waiting for me to play around with it. But I think that's okay. Like, I don't need this yarn to be my everyday go-to yarn. It still hasn't changed my mind with wanting to sit down and work up with jumbo yarn for a long period of time. This basket was pretty much my limit. I did end up working all 6 of these coasters in one setting, and I was totally fine. Like, I could start to feel a little bit in my elbow that I was just getting fatigued. I wasn't sore, but I definitely was getting there. So I stopped, had a little coffee break, and then came back down and started to work on this. And I did this all in one sitting too, which was surprising for me. I'm pretty happy because this was my goal, was to work through all of the yarn that I have and decide if I like it and if I would actually purchase it again. At this moment in time, the only color that I'm interested in getting again is this one because I want to make this into a rug on my entrance door. I know exactly the size, the stitch that I want to use, Tunisian crochet, simple stitch. That's how I'm going to work it up. Even though I'm going to get more, I'm only going to get the amount of yarn that I need for the rug. I don't feel like I have to have this just in case I think of a project. Like, if it's out and about in the world and I see it again and I happen to know another project that I want to work it up into, sure, I'll grab it. But this is definitely not going to be a staple for me. It's kind of 50-50. I liked the project that I created with it, and I do want to create another project. But if you also don't like jumbo bulky yarn and you're kind of on the fence about this one, I'd say just wait until you know the exact project that you want to work it up into and then go ahead and try it. That's how I'd go about it if you're deciding whether or not to give this yarn a try. If you like flowers and floral patterns are your thing, you kind of like the whole wallpaper aesthetic, yeah, definitely check them out. I mean, that's exactly what this yarn is giving. But for me, I'm just going to be getting this color, making the rug, and probably moving on from it. I guess it's 50-50 for me. I don't love this yarn. I also don't hate it. I think there is a place and a time for it, but it's never going to be a go-to yarn for me. So if that helped you out, let me know in the comments if you're excited about this yarn or if you're just interested in using a fabric style type of yarn. I would love to know the patterns that you're interested in as well. But for now, that is it. So thanks for hanging out with me again. Have a super spooky rest of your night, and I will see you in my next video.